Hello and welcome to Rain's Kitchen and Garden. My name is Rain. Today I'm going to show you how I make my Thanksgiving bread stuffing. So let's begin. Okay, let's make some delicious bread stuffing. Inside my pan here I have 1/4 cup plus 2 tablespoons of unsalted butter. That comes to about 84 grams. I've heated it up on medium heat and I'm going to add my onions. Here I have 2 cups of chopped onions. It's about 2 small onions, or 2 medium onions, I should say. So about 2 medium onions chopped up. I always make a circle in the middle of my pan because this pan actually burnt a little bit in the middle, so anything that's in the middle always burns. So I always, if you ever see me frying things and I make that circle, that's the reason why. I just don't want my onions to burn. So to the onions, we're going to add some herbs. In this little bowl, I have 2.5 teaspoons of poultry seasoning. That's about 7 grams. And for those who don't know what poultry seasoning is, you can get it in the aisle with the spices at the grocery store. Okay? I also have a teaspoon of celery salt. That's about 2.8 grams. And I have 1/2 teaspoon of powdered dry thyme. That's 1.4 grams. I'm going to mix that up and I'm going to sprinkle that over my onions. Now, this is what gives you that aroma of Thanksgiving. It smells so good. I'm going to mix all that up. Okay, I'm going to cover that and let that simmer for about 15 minutes. And I'm going to watch it. Every once in a while, I'm going to come and give it a little stir. While my onion is cooking, I'm going to cut up my bread into about 1/2-inch cubes. This is a loaf of bread that I made about 2 weeks ago. It's been sitting in the freezer, so it's not quite as fresh as it used to be. You want to try to avoid using fresh bread because it could fall apart during the cooking and the stuffing could become just a big mushy pile. So if you have day-old bread or even stale bread, that'll work. I use an entire loaf. I'll put a link to this bread in the description below. It's called old-fashioned white bread. I've made a video on how to make it, but it's not edited yet. I do have the recipe written down for you, so I'll include that in the description below. So I'm just cutting this, like I said, into cubes. And you want to put these cubes into a very large bowl. And I mean a large bowl because you're going to be mixing the onion mix in there, and we're going to be putting some chicken broth, and you need a lot of room to mix everything up with the bread. So make sure you have the biggest bowl you have. How about that? You'll know soon enough if you need a bigger bowl. Of all of the dishes that I make for Thanksgiving, stuffing is our favorite, so that's why I make such a large amount. This is a really big bowl, and as you can see, it's pretty full. So I'm just going to preheat my oven to 325 degrees Fahrenheit. That's 165 Celsius or gas mark 3. Well, my onions are done, so I'm going to take these off the heat, let them cool down a little bit, and continue with the recipe. Now I'm going to take 2 large eggs, put them into a large bowl, and I'm going to add 3 cups or 750 mils of cold chicken stock. Make sure that the chicken stock is not hot because you don't want to scramble your eggs. Okay, we're going to whisk that up. Make sure those eggs are all whisked well. Then we're going to add a 1/4 cup of fresh chopped parsley. That's about 15 grams. My parsley is from the fridge or from the freezer. I froze it about 6 months ago. And when it's frozen, it's actually very easy to chop up. Okay, I'm going to set that aside for now. I've added my cooled down onion mixture to my bread. I was going to do it on camera, but you know what? That frying pan is very heavy and it would have been a little awkward for me. So I just added it and I put on some vinyl gloves and I'm just going to start mixing all of that together. This is why you need a big bowl. I want to make sure that the onion mix gets into all of the little crevices where the bread is, because we want each piece to taste really, really good. I wish I could let you smell my kitchen right now. It smells so amazing. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the egg mixture. I'm just going to give that a little whisk and pour that in. Got some parsley stuck on my whisk here. Take that off. There we go. Same thing. Let's mix all that up. Well, that's mixed together pretty well. So now I'm going to transfer this into my baking dish. I have a very large, deep baking dish here. I'll put the measurements in the description below. I don't remember them offhand, but I've generously buttered it and I'm going to transfer the contents of my bowl into that dish. Make sure it's nice and evenly distributed. Oh, I dropped a little onion. Now I've got a piece of foil here. I'm going to tightly cover this with foil. And that's going to go into my 325-degree Fahrenheit oven for 45 minutes. And after the 45 minutes, I'm going to remove the foil and continue to bake it for another 30 minutes until the top is browned. Well, my stuffing is ready, my friends. It looks and smells delicious. I can't wait to taste it. I actually made this stuffing for our Canadian Thanksgiving this weekend because I'm going to be making a very decadent dish. It's my Thanksgiving poutine. And for those of you who don't know what a poutine is, it's basically French fries with cheese and gravy, hot gravy poured on top. It's a comfort food and it's really delicious. But I'm doing a bit of a twist on it and I'm adding some Thanksgiving toppings to my poutine. I'm going to leave a link in the description description below of all of the recipes that I'm using, including the how-to videos of how I made all of these recipes. And in the card above, I'll leave a link to the how to make Thanksgiving poutine video. I hope that you enjoyed this, my friends, and if you did, please like and subscribe. I love to read your comments, so don't forget to leave me a comment. I do reply to them. So until next time, I'll see you on Rain's Kitchen and Garden. Bye!